Hello everyone, it's time for a very late, but finally here, episode of MK's Mouth. You're going to have to pardon my stumbling over words. I did not rehearse this like usual. That's the whole point of this whole rant series, as we've come to call it. You're also going to have to pardon my lack of attire right now. I haven't left this room. I was sleeping until about... Hush you. I was sleeping until about an hour ago. So, anyway, the topic for this episode today is teams. And I had a bit of trouble trying to think of what to say for this episode, because it's such a broad topic. Very broad topic. I mean, it's teams in SOTF. What do I think of people teaming up in either duos or groups? And for anyone who's ever read Ivan and Tabby, the answer in general should be clear. I'm a fan of it. But I'm going to go into more depth than that. Starting maybe with a duo dynamic and then going into why larger groups in SOTF can be handy. I'm going to minimize out of the chat to keep myself from being distracted. Minimize myself out of aim, minimize myself out of the aim window. I'm tempted to just shut off my desktop right now. Anyway. I feel characters, yeah. The point of SOTF, besides the killing and the dying and the wanton destruction that spreads everywhere and the blood spilling into the ocean. The point beyond that is character interaction, as is the point of any roleplay. And when you have two characters who are together for a long time, an extended period of time, and thus effectively become a duo or a two-person team, the characterization of both gets stronger, the connections between both get stronger, and just all around duos tend to have more meat to the story than any two people who randomly bump into each other and go from there. Some duos are great, some duos not so great, at least in my opinion, which is always right. But, you know, it's not like teams guarantee success. They don't. But I think that it makes the success that is there all the more sweeter. And some of the greatest and most high-profile entities in Survival of the Fittest are not just singular students, but teams. Take Team Ego, for instance, / name drop. The Flowerheads, before shit got real by like day 5 or 6. I guess there was like the Genius Squad running around or something. The Entourage. You know, just plenty of groups, in all honesty. I was going to say something. I lost it, mostly because I'm afraid of being wrong, but you know what, fuck that. I get one little factoid wrong in pretty much every episode, so I'm just going to go full tilt ahead. Team Ego, I think, was the House of the Rising Sun group, which the reason why they're high profile should be obvious by now, being one half, the more designed half, of the escape plan. You know what? I really am just going to embrace this rant show thing, because that's what it is at one point. It's a one-man show. So, of course, you're getting very, you're not getting bipartisan opinions here. You're getting one guy's opinion. So, this is very opinionated. You don't always have to agree with me, but, I don't know. People have been watching it thus far. What else to say, really, besides that, yes, teams can be really, really good, or they can be really, really bad, and they are usually one of the two. But what defines a team, really? I mean, because characters pair up all the time. Earlier on, you had... what's an early pairing? Okay, anyone remember Island, McCreary teaming up with, like, Samaya and Melissa and Felicia? That doesn't really hold as a strong, coherent group in my mind, not because they broke up early, because the Flowerheads also broke up early and violently, and they still hold more as a group in my mind. But for some reason that one doesn't, the all-female group. And maybe because of their relevance to the story. Like, as all four of them, they didn't do much except die. I mean, they didn't do much together except Samaya died on the mountain. And that's it. Then from there, I mean, before they actually got to the infirmary where shit really went down, or no, they got to the infirmary first, Island left, then all hell broke loose. I mean, then it was down to a duo, then Felicia ran off, and the group had completely dissolved within a short amount of time. Which I suppose is another important feature of groups, now that I'm on that topic, how they break up, how they die. Duos tend to break up in a very simplistic way. There's two people together, they go tramp along, la 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 la, oh look, one died. Duo over, everyone. Sometimes it's more dramatic, sometimes it's less dramatic. Sometimes it comes off as, you know, oh no, now they're split up, and sometimes it's like, oh no, they're split up, let's read someone else now. I hate to be so cynical, but there is that divide, sometimes it happens. Groups are where this really shines, the whole breakup of the group. You know what a group I haven't mentioned yet? Aaron Hughes and his little... the Friends of Fuckwad there. That was one group I kind of neglected to mention. That's a shame, because that had an interesting dynamic there where the self-proclaimed leader didn't really give a shit about the rest of the group. At least Island was honest about it, you could say. She pretty much outright said that, yeah, I will probably shoot you if it gets down to just us, where Aaron was conniving and kind of like a good guy on the front, like, I'll get you through this, guys, follow me, and then beyond that, he was a jerk. He was a selfish dick, and that's cool. That's awesome. I don't know why that's awesome, but it is. The Flowerheads break up. Everyone either knows that or would like to pretend they don't know it. Another group breakup. House of the Rising Sun, Team Ego. Please kill me if they're not the same group. But the House of the Rising Sun group, I haven't read them all the way through, but I do remember where at least Ethan dies. I'm not really sure Kimberly and Reiko counts as a pair. They were kind of very endgame-ish and nowhere else. Kimberly and Dutchie doesn't really count as a pair either, but I think they were part of the same group that broke up early on, and then they run into each other at several different points in the game, which is interesting. I like to see those little throwbacks that weave in and out of each other, like a Rod of Asclepius. For those who are like confused, it's that symbol in medicine that has like a staff and then a snake going around it. Although I fucked up personally and thought of a double helix instead, but it's not a double helix. That's something completely different. But those who do the double helix and sort of intertwine at different points in the story, but aren't constantly with each other, I think those are almost as good as teams. And now at this point I'm just rambling. I mean, there really wasn't anywhere I could go with teams. But, you know, I guess that's about the size on that one. Oh, and remember when I said that I was going to do an episode on placeholders, and then I didn't because it became largely irrelevant? Well, I suppose I'm going to insert a quick plug before I bring up my browser and call for the next episode's topic. And you know what? It's real quick. Guys, don't do placeholders. Don't even say but. Don't come up with excuses. Just don't do it. The best of us have done it. The worst of us have done it. I don't care. They're stupid. And let's put this in ways that might make you more conducive to listening. I mean, when you do a placeholder, and yes, this episode did just suddenly become about placeholders. When you do a placeholder for your character, you're not just hurting everyone else who wants to keep the integrity of the site and the rate of the story flowing smoothly. You're hurting your own character, because people are going to stop reading them, or they're just going to be, oh look, a placeholder, and not read it. And then when you fill in the placeholder, they're not going to check back to it, because nothing shows that you edited the post at all. When you edit the post, it doesn't come up on the active topics list, so people aren't going to know you fixed it. And even when you do let people know, like in chat, that you fixed it, most people aren't going to go back and read it, because the story is over at that point. There's no point in going back and reading that one post when you already just laid down a synopsis of what happened. For instance, if the post was such and such looked at the ground, picked up the gun, and then walked away, and that's it, and then you flesh that out to about 3 to 4 paragraphs that show some immensely drawn out and well-fleshed thought. Too bad. You fucked up the first time. They're not going to look at it. So, shame on you. I mean, just don't do it, guys. I mean, it's not going to work out for you, and it doesn't work out for anyone else. So now that little PSA is done, now you know. Knowing's half the battle. GI, shut the fuck up. Let's search for the next topic. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. You type in MK's mouth on Google, and I'm the first thing that comes up. Neato. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. New episode up. Blah, blah, blah. Page 4. Oh, right. Frozen Smoke came up with violence and SOTF. Oh boy, isn't that going to be a fun topic. And for those who are like, oh yeah, of course there's violence and SOTF. Well, yes, that's correct. But the whole thing is this. Not the fact that it exists, of course, otherwise it'd be pretty simple to answer. I'm more interested in how you prefer your violence described. Painstaking, visceral detail, where you know exactly what's happening, how and why, or more generalized, less concrete description where you fill in the blanks with what's most horrifying to you. Or is it a mixture of both, or a third option completely that holds sway with you? I think this would be a cool topic to discuss if you're up for it. Well, yes, I absolutely agree. And no, Sid, I'm not skipping over yours. I'm just, man, I really want to do that violence topic next. So, now you know. I'm not going to repeat the G.I. Joe again, although it's running in my mind. Pork chop sandwiches. Well, hopefully you had fun listening to this little tirade of mine. See you next week if I can manage to keep myself on schedule. Bye.